All right, my cousin Kareem, welcome to the Corner Store Podcast, man. How you doing?
Hey, doing great, man. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem, man. Well, in this video, we're gonna discuss some military benefits. So, share everybody as far as like your military background, like your MOS, and what was your day to day like duties as you was a corpsman.
Okay, well, I did 29 years, 8 months, and 8 days. So I did a lot of different things, but I'll talk about what I did for the last 10 years
Okay.
as a chief in the Navy. Uh, Background, uh, became an independent duty corpsman. Uh, After that, went over to Naval Special Warfare. Um, was stationed over with SEALs. That's actually where I became a chief. Was
Mm-hmm.
with the Special Warfare Command, and got to meet a lot of great guys there. Learned a lot from them. But uh, I was on the reserve side, but with Special Warfare, they don't really treat reservists any different than active duty. I mean,
Okay.
you have to be a SEAL in order to become a reserve SEAL. There is no reserve SEAL program. So all of those guys are operators. The same after that, dealing with reserve centers, lots of different communities, CBs, special warfare, intel, uh, program 9 corpsmen, the ones who were stationed with the Marines,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of operational stuff. And my job was to get them ready for deployments. And I was pretty good at it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but it was a lot of work, a lot of shots, a lot of, you know, uh, laboratory tests, making sure people don't have high cholesterol. That was an issue, believe it or not. They were
Mm-hmm.
not deploying people because of cholesterol issues for
Oh,
about 3 or 4 years. If your cholesterol was too high, you couldn't go over uh, the sandbox because
okay.
they thought you'd just die of a heart attack over there.
Okay.
So,
It's as far as your job as a corpsman, like how
mhm.
would that translate over to the civilian world?
so for the reserve community in the Navy and the Marine Corps, it's like it's a part-time job as a reservist. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's 1 week in a month and 2 weeks a year for your annual training, and
Right.
then their deployment uh, requirements. So it'd be no different than working at Walmart part time. If you say want something to do, but it's a lot more responsibilities. But you get hurt on your job. It's we call it line of duty. They but and civilians will call it workman's comp.
Right. Okay.
So basically, I was a workman's comp manager for the reserves for about 14 years before I retired. For the
Mm.
Navy and Marine Corps Reserve both.
Okay.
Uh, but because of that work, I also learned about the VA system a lot because they go hand in hand. Even though people don't believe they do, they do. The first thing I would always tell people that join the military is make sure that you document every single thing that happens to you when you're on.
As far as the injuries and stuff, right?
Injuries, illnesses,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you got a stomach ache, get it documented. Uh, I can tell you, I never got sick until I joined the Navy.
Oh, okay.
And my first 4 years in the Navy was hell. I had a lot of abdominal pain. I was admitted to the hospital. They thought I had appendicitis like 3 different times. I wasn't used to eating MREs and fast food every day. Now, I was used to eating regular meals at home with my family.
Right.
Rice, vegetables, lean meat, bread. That food pyramid. But once you get away from home, and now you can go eat that cheesesteak in Philly, and you can have it anytime you want to. Yeah, I was out. the MREs, eating up all the bad food. I had stomach problems for my first 4 years in the Navy.
Right.
And also being exposed maybe to different radiations, different chemicals, all these vaccines. I mean, it's a combination of all of it. But the biggest culprits for not disclosing their medical stuff are Marines.
Yeah. As a
By,
Marine
by,
myself,
by
right.
far,
Yeah.
Marines.
Yeah. They always taught us to just suck up. You know,
Yeah.
if you're hurt, suck it up. If
I mean,
you're sick, hurt, injured, all that, you know, all the above, you know, suck it up.
look,
You need
man,
to be on duty.
you know, right before you and I actually started, becoming closest cousins,
Mm-hmm.
when I was in Memphis, I had this first sergeant at this little reserve center. It was a Kilo Company 323, 3rd Battalion, 23rd Marines. And this first sergeant, he didn't have any cartilage in his knees. And this guy would still go out there every day
And
and
PT.
run.
Yeah.
And run on him. And then go in his office. He asked me, did I have any ice packs? So I give him some ice packs. But he didn't need ice packs. I mean, he needed ice. So I go get him some ice and wrap it around there with the H wrap.
Right.
And I used to say, first sergeant, why you keep on doing this to yourself, man? And he's like, hey, hoorah, hoorah. Okay, hoorah.
Hoorah, yeah.
Okay, hoorah. All right. Look, I hope I don't see you sitting outside that VA hospital in a wheelchair talking about hoorah or hoorah. Nah.
Yeah. Now,
I mean, and unfortunately, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, guys who just like run themselves into the ground. I'm guilty of it myself.
Now, okay, as you said earlier, it's important for you to like document everything as much as possible. So the reasons for that is so that upon separation, if something was to happen to you later on in life, that you could kind of go back to the VA and they could kind of do like a medical screening on you. As long as you got certain things documented, then you can kind of like get compensated as far as what like medical care and like monetary payments as far as that, right?
Yes. So,
Okay.
see, most people don't even understand why we even have a medical record. The medical record is there to document first a physical exam that you had at the MEPS.
Oh, yeah, upon enlisting,
military,
yes.
Right? The Military Entrance Processing Center or station. It's where you have your initial physical, and they ask you all these basic questions. Do you have or have you ever had the following things? Problems with your vision, low blood pressure, high blood pressure, low blood sugar, high blood sugar, problems sleeping, nightmares, mental health problems, seizures, all kind of different things.
Right. It's very thorough. It's very thorough. Yeah.
It's very thorough. Okay. Well, and actually, I put a lot of input when I left Memphis and came to the Midwest, because the main MEPCOM is in North Chicago, and I was able to give them information about how some things were being slipping through cracks.
Okay.
Like certain people coming into the reserves from active duty, and they weren't really screening their records, and they were doing the exact same physical as they did when they first came in, asking the same questions, and they keep on saying, no, we ain't got these problems.
Right.
But then I get their record, and they got a ton of problems.
Right.
So now I can't deploy this person, but they've still let this person in. And but that record is there to document all your medical issues, all the, like I said, exposure to radiation, whether you had good vision like I did when I first joined, and then I end up having astigmatism. That happened when I was on active duty. So I get a disability for that, and I also get free glasses for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Can't wait to
Okay.
get the ones without the shades on them. But
Mm-hmm. Okay. And oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, so this message is for the younger people that are still on active duty. Document everything that happens to you, because if it's not in your record, it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? As a Marine, unfortunate for me, I mean, I hardly document anything. I mean, I may have had like a sprained ankle from playing basketball, you know, for like PT purposes. But besides that, man, I got a clean record. And I mean, I don't have anything going on with me right now as far as health wise. I mean, I'm fortunate that I'm very healthy. I don't need any outside benefits from the VA. I mean, I feel
Right.
fortunate for that. But yeah, I mean, I kind of dodged a bullet from that. But for instance, I mean, I do have a bad knee, but it just wear and tear from like my constant running and exercise and everything. But besides that, man, I mean, I'll live. I mean, I just got a bad knee, but it's not that bad. So
Well, I'll tell you this too, though. Um, I mean, get it looked at. These orthopedic surgeons are doing wonders now, early, to fix your knee
mm-hmm.
to where you won't need to have additional surgery later.
Okay.
I mean, man, I had we refer to our young corpsmen as baby docs, and probably my best baby doc I ever had. Uh, I mean, this guy he was strong enough, not just physically but mentally, to become a Navy SEAL if that's what he had wanted to do.
Okay.
But he's a great sailor. I still talk to him from time to time. But this guy, uh, he let me mentor him, and he did everything that I told him to do, and he's done great things. He has a great family. I'm just proud of him.
Mm-hmm.
Man, but this guy blew his knee out. He tore his one of his ACLs and got the surgery done. And I hadn't worked in surgery for a while, or in medicine, like at hospitals for a while. But they put him on this machine right away, and it just moved his knee back and forth all day for like the first 7 days after his surgery.
Okay.
This guy, in less than 90 days, was back on his knee and was running like 2 and 3 miles on that knee.
Now, as far as his surgery, you're saying that like VA doctors can perform this surgery,
Um,
or
VA doctors,
or
I don't know. I don't know anything about VA hospitals besides I'm scared to go to one.
oh, really?
Yeah, that's all I know about them. I don't know anything about what goes on there besides when I went there, my wife, she thought we were in the Social Security office. It was just a
Oh,
bunch of old veterans just sitting around looking like they was waiting for their Social Security check.
now let me ask you this. Okay, like about that. It's so many different opportunities and like benefits like upon separating from the military. Like what's the pitfalls in which will cause like a service member to like be so rock bottom and be homeless and not take advantage of like opportunities to kind of like get like educational benefits, housing benefits, and job training. What would make them kind of like slip through the cracks and like be homeless and just be down and out?
Well, I would say the majority of it is mental health.
Okay, and
Yeah.
especially coming back from overseas in like wartime, PTSD, and they don't have the proper care in order to like address those issues, right?
Well, I'll say this: when somebody comes back,
Wait, hold on, your sound. Okay, go ahead.
when someone comes back from deployment, they're supposed to do these assessments,
Okay.
and they're very time sensitive assessments. But sometimes somebody will come back from deployment, and before they can do their assessment, they decide to get out. So let's take you, for example.
Mm-hmm.
You went on deployment. How long ago? Well, how long from your deployment when you came back did you get out the Marine Corps?
2 months.
2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example.
Okay.
When you came back, they had to do what they call a post-deployment assessment.
Okay. Right.
They were still doing those, or they were still tweaking those when you got out. So they got better, but a lot of people got forgotten because they didn't go back to find those people that didn't get those, what they call a reassessment.
Right.
And that's done between 90 days and 180 days from coming back from deployment. And that is a critical time because what they're saying is, okay, let's see, you probably went from Kuwait straight to Camp Pendleton, right?
Yes.
As soon as you got to Camp Pendleton, they started doing your discharge stuff.
Right. That was
They're
the, that was the only thing. That was the only thing I was working on.
So like I was saying, you flew back to Camp Pendleton. You decided not to re-enlist. So we said, okay, we got to go ahead and start doing your discharge papers. You got to do your TAPS class.
Yep.
Right. But whenever did they ask you about your mental health for your deployment?
I don't think they ever asked me that. I mean, actually, it's funny that you say that.
They don't.
Right. They don't.
Don't ask you that.
They don't.
Okay. And guess why? Because you're gonna get out. So they're like, hey, that's one less person we got to worry about. This, you know.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but and a lot of people are going to agree with what I'm saying. Some people won't because they didn't go through that. But a lot of people, they were just like, okay, hey. I mean, you had times when you got there, they told you had to go to personnel, you had to give them all this information, you had to tell them about all your awards, you had to have your contract, they had to tell you about all the benefits you were going to get once you get out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and then, did they do a physical on you before they discharge you?
Yeah. That's actually part of the like the whole process of like making sure that you reach like medical, dental, and like certain offices that you have to get like signatures in order to get properly out processed.
Right. Well, like I said, the one thing they don't do very well, because they don't even track. When you show up back to medical, and I'm assuming, were you with division?
No, meth. What meth?
Okay. Oh, yeah, these big boys. Okay,
yeah.
So, right. But all I'm saying is, when you checked your record in with the meth when you got back, most of them don't even go into the system and check it in. They just take it from you. They say, okay, thanks a lot. And it goes up to a pile of a whole bunch of other records that they don't check in.
Yeah.
So that the lack of checking that record in, because once you check it in, it starts asking questions. Has this person come back from deployment? Like, oh yeah, and you put a date in there. So then it automatically is supposed to say, when you do your, there's three of them. There's a post-deployment assessment. There's a post-deployment reassessment, and then another reassessment that's done, like I said, 90 to 180 days. But if you're getting out in 60 days, once you get discharged, you just fall off the system. No one's checking on you.
Now, is this regardless of branch? I mean, is certain branches better at doing this than others?
I would. I mean, by far the Air Force is
Air
probably doing a
Force.
better job.
Yeah. Okay.
But they also use their technology better than the rest of the branches, and
Mhm.
they communicate with each other very well.
Mhm.
Something that the other branches don't do.
Okay.
Yeah, communication about things like what I'm talking about is almost non-existent.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
man, so so what happens? You have a person with an issue. I had reservists with issues. I had a corpsman that was that was deployed to Iraq like 3 times, and you know, with Marines, came back, tried to get in the VA system. They told him it was going to take 8 months to see him, and he said, "Look, I'm having nightmares. I'm not feeling good. I need help." And he came to me,
Mhm.
and I mean, I'm just the chief at the reserve center, but I made phone calls for him.
Right.
But I finally had to like get my chain of command involved, which the VA and the military don't. They don't communicate hardly at all. Um, it's on the VA is like this secret society that no one's, like no one's privy to information. Besides
Okay.
now, the health sharing information is different now.
Right.
Uh, like if you're a veteran getting benefits and you get seen in a civilian hospital, they can see those records.
Okay.
Now, finally, after all these years, they can finally see those records.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
that's
took them
pretty
a
good.
long time. It took them a long time to do that. Um, but I'd like to think I had some input in some of that because I was on some of those they call greenbelt projects up in Great Lakes. They did a bunch of them actually in my reserve center up there.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to give them a lot of input.
All right.
But yeah, documentation. Uh, all veterans should document anything that happens to them. Uh, and then this is the other one, the other problem too, or it was a problem. People weren't getting their civilian stuff if you went out in town, and they wouldn't put it in their regular medical record, their military medical record, which you can do. So, I mean, there's people out there I know who be running around, they've been at like reservists,
Mhm.
Milwaukee, Charlotte, places where they don't have military bases at. So they have to go get seen out in town, uh, using TRICARE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a
Okay.
lot of people they don't collect those records, and if they're corpsmen or their MDR medical department rep, it doesn't make a difference what branch. If they're not telling their people that, hey, when you go to civilian doctor, make sure you bring back all your paperwork so I can put in your record. Now you have a veteran with an incomplete record.
So as long as you got an active military ID, you could go to any hospital and get the basic care, right?
If you have an emergency, you can go to any ER and get treated.
Okay.
Uh, if you are out of town, you can call TRICARE and they'll find a place that you can go.
Mhm.
Uh, but who wants to sit in the ER for 5 hours for a cold?
Right.
But it happens, unfortunately. I mean
Right.
that's healthcare in America.
Mhm.
But yeah, they can get seen anywhere. I mean, you go to an urgent care clinic in a lot of different cities,
Okay.
which hopefully that's only like an hour or two wait.
You know what? When I was in college, man, we was required to have health coverage
Mm-hmm.
as long as we were enrolled for school. And instead of just paying that $600 a semester for just to be covered under the system, I just declined their coverage. I just went across the street to Jesse Brown to the VA hospital and just got my care for free for
Yeah.
the rest of my time in college. And I mean, that was a huge benefit for me.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
didn't have to come out of pocket for that.
And I mean, when I was at the Reserve Center in Great Lakes, they call it NAS Chicago. I mean, I deployed probably about to 900 people in the 4 years I was there.
Okay.
It actually may be more than that because I mean we were deploying units.
Mm-hmm.
Like well, one unit that was deployed had 300 sailors deployed just in that one unit out of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean I had to track all, not just the medical, but security clearances, awards, uh, their DD-214s, you know, their discharge, because once they come back from a mobilization as a reservist, they get a DD-214, some of them for the first time. Because if you just were a reservist and never active duty, you won't get one unless you go on deployment.
Okay.
But that right there is I mean, if it's not right, which a lot of them weren't right, and I had to request them to be corrected.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like I said, a lot of these people get herded through like cattle. You know, I mean, like I said, I don't know about the meth. I'm sure that when you all came back with the general, it wasn't a lot of y'all. It might have been probably about maybe 100 people on the staff.
As far as the general staff?
Yeah.
As far as the general staff, it was just a few of us. It was
Maybe 20 or 30.
It was probably 20 at the most, because
Yeah.
you got admin, which I was in, and you got his aide, you got the drivers, you got the protocol personnel. I mean,
Right.
it was about 20 people.
Yeah, you got your intel officer.
Intel officer, they are like a separate group. That's the
Wait, what they come in on a briefings and stuff. What okay,
right.
so 20
Right.
20 people. So
Yeah.
so when y'all came back, and like I said, y'all came back with the general. So I mean, y'all went through customs and everything, probably no problem.
No, I actually flew like advanced party, so I didn't fly back with him. I flew back with like another another crew.
Look, that's even better. I love advanced party stuff.
No, because they had to bring me back so I could start out processing. Because remember,
right.
I'm getting out of July, like mid-July, and this was sort of like mid-May. So I had to get back and start it. Get some paperwork going.
And this was in 2004, right?
2003.
2003.
This is literally right after Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Oh, okay.
Just remember, that was a stop loss within early that year, because I was actually stop loss, but that stop loss happened for maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in danger of staying over there for like, much longer.
You was gonna get paid though.
Yeah. Actually, you know what?
Well, the rumor was that they had to pay you an extra $100 a day for every day you was on stop loss.
Oh, okay. You know what? I don't remember if I gotten that. I don't remember, because I mean, I wasn't paying major bills anyway. I mean, I was just out there and I was just collecting paychecks, and I barely even looked at my account. So I was just worried about coming back alive. But now as far as overseas now, or actually deploying in general, what's some of the monetary like pay increases that like you can get? I know there's like hostile work pay. Is there like any others that you can kind of get while you're kind of deployed overseas?
You're deployed, so you know, if you are like us and married, you get family separation pay.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much it is. When I got it, I think it was like $150 a month, and it was tax free.
Okay.
Then you get, there's hostile fire pay, there's combat pay, there's like any bonuses that you're eligible for are all tax free.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you would have re-enlisted before you left Iraq, and you got it, and say you were eligible for say $15,000 bonus.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have re-enlisted in Iraq before you came back to the States, you would have got that money all that money would have been tax free.
Okay.
So you could just put it in your bank account without paying taxes on it. Or this is another benefit people don't think about either. If you do re-enlist over there, you can put it all up in your TSP, and it still is tax free.
Okay.
And that's on any re-enlistment. you can put all your money in your TSP account and it's tax free. And what I actually, when I was in IDC school in San Diego, independent duty corpsman school, I was the only corpsman in my class that didn't get a bonus because I was full-time support for I think FTS or active reserve. Mm-hmm. So even though I was working as an active duty person, I was still considered well. I wasn't reservist, but I worked with reserve programs. The Marine Corps has the same thing called AR, active reservists.
Okay.
And all they do is work with reserve commands, no matter what they're doing, and unless they happen to, transfer out, request a, commission, things like mm-hmm. that.
Now let's move to education.
Okay.
Education. Now, do you still have a GI Bill, or did you use it all?
I used it all.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. Now you came across like a whole bunch of service members pretty much all over the country. Like, can you tell me what is the best state to come from that would give you like the best bang for your buck as far as you going, going to college or going to any trade school in which the state would kind of like pay your tuition and give you some other benefits as well?
So our state of Illinois.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
okay.
So they have, I believe they still have the Illinois Servicemen's Grant,
mm-hmm.
where they pay for 4 years of tuition. If mm-hmm. you do at least 4 years of active duty and come back, you have to be a resident of the state when you join and a resident when you came back like you did. So I hope you used that.
Oh, yes. Yes, I definitely did. Yeah.
Okay, so you did. And then you also got to use your GI Bill at the same time, too.
Exactly.
So that paid the bills.
Yeah, back then it was called the Illinois Veterans Grant. I'm not sure if that's still the case today, but basically I had to maintain a C average. I mean,
right.
that's all I had to maintain, and they would pretty much pay your tuition for free. I still qualify for MAP grants and Pell grants.
And books are awesome too, right?
No, I had to pay for books out of my pocket, but most of the Pell
but you had the means to do it though. So
yeah. I mean, I was still getting Pell grants and MAP grants, and also was getting the Montgomery GI Bill, and I was just literally putting that in my pocket. And the only thing I just had to maintain a C average.
And so you said a MAP?
It's called MAP grant.
It's a MAP grant.
I don't know. I know that it was a grant that was provided, and I took it.
I'm saying, are those still available?
I'm not sure. I don't know. Now, Madro, I was in college from 03 to 06. And I even did 2 summer sessions, which I was in college for like 3.5 years. So I literally, I was done in the winter of 2006. And I walked across the stage in May of 07. So 03 to 07 was my college experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 07, you know what? I actually went out to California a month before you walked in.
Okay.
So I had just started my IDC school out there.
Mm-hmm. Now you've been retired for what? How long? 1 year, 2 years?
2 years. 2 years.
2 years. Now, what's some cool retirement benefits that you still kind of take advantage of today?
Well, I'm 100% total disabled veteran. Mm-hmm. So some of the benefits that people in my status can enjoy is no property taxes. And in fact, I just happened to get my tax bill in the mail today.
Okay.
Like zero. And that's from the city, state, county. Yeah, I think the county tax was like, yeah.
Now, is that across the country? or certain states.
Certain states, veterans have to look at their state guidelines
Mm-hmm.
uh, because there's state VAs too. As a matter of fact, I'm just finding out that after being a resident here for so many years, I can actually apply for Georgia veteran benefits as well as the VA because it's a separate VA entity. Every state
So
has their own VA.
so what would you get from Georgia VA?
Money,
Oh, money. Okay.
being registered as a disabled veteran. Say my spouse passed before I did and I couldn't take care of myself, I'd be eligible to go to a state home,
Mm-hmm.
which actually my grandfather lived in for probably more than half of his life.
Okay.
After he was a World War II veteran, he dealt with PTSD pretty bad, and my grandmother passed away at a young age, and he lived in the state VA in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Okay. Hey, so
So
you could up your volume a little bit.
I have to have this little crash. Is that better?
Yeah, that's fine.
Better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, all right. So basically, you may qualify for Georgian VA benefits as far as like monetary payments. You get free, well, with zero property taxes, and and you do have a like a retirement card in which it gives you access to like bases, so you can kind of go to the PX or to the commissary and buy
Well, well,
food
well
and goods for tax free.
and I'm glad you said that because they they just started a program last year where, believe it or not, Trump is the one behind this. He's allowing all disabled veterans to get access to military bases in order to use their exchanges and services on other services on base.
So prior to that, y'all wasn't allowed to go on bases.
Or okay, so we're talking about people who didn't retire, so they might have did 5 years, like yourself,
Okay.
4 years,
Yeah.
but say you had a traumatic injury in Iraq and you lost your leg, so now you're 100% disabled. You could get your you would get well you would get med boarded from the Marine Corps, so you would still get some type of money from the Marines, and you get your so you might get an ID card. But say you have you know, life-threatening injuries or traumatic injuries, and you're 100% disabled. Just because you did 4 years in the Marine Corps doesn't mean that you still go to the Marine Corps exchange on, on the base.
And they got the same goods like you'll find at Target or Walmart or anywhere else. I mean, but it
Yeah,
just that is just tax free,
it's tax free.
and that's huge. Yeah.
Well, not just tax free, but they're also a lot cheaper because we're not paying the retail price.
Right.
We're paying part of the wholesale price.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Okay.
because all these exchanges are part of that national stockpile that they've been talking about on the news.
You know what? If I ever get my hands one of those cards, I would let her go to Great Lakes maybe once a month and just stock up on some
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily our base is only well, 3 miles from here, so we go there.
Hmm.
You know, um, we get all of our computers and all of our electronics from there. And
Yeah.
actually, the exchange warranty program is better than Apple Care, and it is.
You
Look,
got you guys are spoiled, man.
I look, and look. You know what? I was looking for these headphones, you know, so we could do this,
Right.
and I was in there, and Jacob just graduated from the 8th grade, so I got him a new iPad. So I grabbed the Apple Care thing, And the lady said, no, 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 you don't need the Apple Care. I said, no, I want the Apple Care. She said, well, look, I'll tell you what. You pay $80 for this Apple Care, or you can pay $40 for this 2-year extended warranty, and there's no deductible. She said, Apple Care, you still got to pay $50 more to get your stuff taken care of. She said, you don't have to pay that for exchange. She was like, you call this number. She said, look, they'll tell you which UPS store to go to. You ship it, they take care of it, and if they can't fix it, they send you a brand new one.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah. That's
so,
huge, man.
I mean, that's a great benefit that I just found out about. It saved me $40 and a potential
deductible as well.
Right, 2 deductibles. So that's $100. That's $100 just for the deductibles right there.
Right.
So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's they also have these exchanges in the VA hospitals.
Oh, okay.
And like the I don't know about the regional centers, but any VA hospital they have what they call them canteens, but they're exchanges. They sell military stuff in there. You know, you get all the veterans in there, and they be in line too, buying all that stuff.
Right. Okay.
But if you got a veterans card, or if you have a VA card, then you can purchase stuff there too.
I have a veterans card, but it expired a few years ago. But like I could go to Great Lakes right now and just get it like another one if I wanted to.
You don't have to go to Great Lakes.
Oh, it's like any VA center then, or like office.
Like actually in Chicago. No, sorry, that was for the CTA bus pass. That's another benefit too. If you're active duty, reserve, retired, or a veteran with a veteran's card, you can get a CTA bus pass where you can ride any public transportation in Chicago for free.
Oh, interesting. Well,
I still got my old one, my old CTA. I got it down there at the Thompson building.
Does it work for Metra, you think?
No, not Metra, just CTA.
Okay, because you know what? I still haven't rode Metra yet, and I would love to take the girls on like the Metra train to like downtown, just so they can have that train experience. But
yeah.
I haven't rode a CTA in years, man.
But the Metra experience with the the little ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
Coming up on the stops, like the girls would love. Most kids love that because they're like, "What is going on
here?" we did the Polar Express this past winter, and they enjoyed it. Yeah, they loved it. And yeah, they have that every year here.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, they give you cookies and hot chocolate. I mean, the Polar Express is probably maybe like 1 hour. They just take you down the road or down the track for about a mile, and then they bring you right back. But that whole experience for them, man, was priceless, man. It was nice.
One thing I wish I could have had y'all come to when I was living in Highland Park is in the little town of Highwood. Every year they have a pumpkin carving, like the whole entire town. All they do is they carve pumpkins.
You know what? At the time you was living there, I had no kids, so that was no reason for you to tell me about it.
No, but I'm saying, but even for adults, it was kind of cool because they actually had they were going for like a Guinness World Record of like the most amount of jack-o'-lantern pumpkins in one place at one time.
Okay.
So me and some other people were down there cutting. You could just do whatever you wanted to do, but it was fun.
Okay.
And I took the pumpkin seeds home and baked them.
Oh yeah, I love those, man.
Yeah, like the fresh ones. Just throw a little sea salt on them and throw them in the oven.
Now, as far as the warrant officer program, now, do you not need a degree in order to kind of like lateral move over to like the warrant officer program?
So for the Navy,
yeah,
as far as I know, they don't have warrant officers anymore.
Oh, really? Since when?
Yeah. Oh, they got rid of them years ago.
Okay.
And then they came up with a new program called the LDO, or Limited Duty Officer.
Yeah.
So those guys still get a commission, and they're not required to have a degree, but they have to be I believe they have to be eligible. They have to at least be eligible to be a chief petty officer in order
Okay.
to qualify for that program. And they always changing up stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and people wonder why. Because when they can't meet their numbers, they have to change the standards.
Right.
They have to lower them,
Right. Right.
and that's not always such a great thing,
Mm-hmm.
because when you lower the standard and you let people in that shouldn't be there, that's why you have these problems we're having. You know,
Right.
these
Now,
ships who are these ships who are crashing into other ships. Well, it's more than that, but trust me, your leader is your strongest or weakest link
right.
of a command.
Right. Now, do the warrant officers get the same benefits as like regular commission officers?
Um, you know what? One thing I loved about warrant officers,
Mm-hmm.
they're protected, man. They're like knights.
Really?
They're like knights in shining armor. Look, I'll tell you what, man, and I'll tell you the best warrant officers in the whole military I've ever met.
Okay.
Marine Corps chief warrant officers.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these guys, they go from staff sergeant to chief warrant officer.
Okay.
So they didn't make gunny, but now they're an officer.
And you got to salute them.
You have to salute. I mean, but even the junior officers don't fuck with them. Why? Because they know they were senior enlisted. They were senior enlisted.
Right, right. You
Because
know what?
Because in the Marine Corps, a staff sergeant is considered a senior enlisted leader. In the Navy, they're not. In the Navy, you're not a senior enlisted leader until you're a chief.
Oh, okay.
Right. See, a lot of people don't know that. And it's funny. I got to go take this picture. Actually, in the building that's in my background there, they have this poster, and it shows the Marine Corps on one side and shows all their ranks, and all your ranks are gold overlaid in red, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the gold stripes, but you got the red under it.
Right, right.
But in the Navy, we got white stripes or red stripes, depending on what your job is. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're an airman, you have green stripes, which represents air. If you have blue stripes, that's construction, like what Kahar was,
Right.
CB. But see,
Okay.
Kahar didn't have to wear the blue stripes because he was already a petty officer before he cross-rated from being a supply person to a CB. So he never wore those. But if he had joined the Navy as a constructionman, he would wear blue. He would have worn blue stripes. The seamen, the hospital men, and the dental techs back then wore white stripes. And then your firemen, which is like your enginemen, hull technicians, what they call snipes, they wear the red stripes, E3 to petty officer. Once you're a petty officer, you wear red stripes or red chevrons.
Okay. Awesome,
but once you get to a certain rank, which is it could be an E5 in the Navy, a petty officer second class. If you get to 12 years of service and you don't get in any trouble, those red stripes turn to gold stripes. I heard they just got away from that. So I heard now they're all wearing gold stripes. If you're a first class, they're all wearing gold stripes. The gold stripes was to say, hey, I have not yet to get any trouble.
Oh, okay.
So they've taken that away. So now they're all wearing gold stripes. So you don't know which one's been getting in trouble, which ones haven't been getting in trouble. That was like that was a sign. Oh, look, damn. Look, we'll just use my rank. or what my rank was. HM1. Damn, HM1. You ain't got no gold stripes yet. You've been in like 16 years. Because look, they can look at your hash marks and tell how many years you've been in.
Right.
You get one for every 4. I think in Marine Corps it's every 3.
No, it was 4 years for us.
Okay, 4 years. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, so if you got 3 hash marks, that means you've been in 12 years, which means you should have a good conduct, or you should
Right.
have gold stripes. In the Navy, you should have gold stripes. Nah, he got red stripes. That means he been amassed. And look, and the mass part is, it's just any punishment they can take away that gold stripe, and now you got to wear red stripes. So when my company commanders, y'all call them drill instructors, we had some Master Chiefs in there. They had red stripes. Well, we didn't know what that meant until after we had left boot camp. That means they had been in some trouble recently.
Right.
Because some of these guys had so many hash marks, they was almost touching their chevrons.
Mm-hmm.
Like on one arm, it was like strike. Crazy.
Wow.
Like, oh yeah, I can tell that dude was the type of guy who might have stayed in trouble.
Right. Let me ask you this. What are the best MOSs that would kind of give you or actually like allow you to like earn like bonuses for like every reenlistment? I know that like certain Intel MOSs probably allow that.
Intel by far is probably the top one.
Intel? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
okay.
Intel, Special Warfare.
Okay.
Yeah, their bonuses are good.
Now, but, what's the bonuses though? Like, is it like fluctuating? It's like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Like, what's the highest bonus you ever heard of?
The highest bonus I ever heard of was I think it was 250,000.
That was for who?
SEAL.
Oh, okay. I can understand now. I can understand now.
I mean, you know what? But let me tell you something, man. That's what he said he got. I didn't see the check, so I don't know what he got.
Okay.
And and these guys, they spend money like there's so much more coming down the rainbow somewhere. And for somehow they get it. I don't know what they're doing and don't want to know. But these guys, I mean, I had never seen such young guys driving around in these big old giant monster trucks and exotic motorcycles. And I mean, even when I was in school, before I went over to the special warfare community, a good associate of mine in school, he was part of the Rough Riders, and it was some SEALs and some Marines and stuff. The tough guy, tough guy bike, club. So used to ride with them, and the day before, actually the night before he graduated, he fell off a cliff driving with these guys somewhere up in San Diego. It was really sad. Yeah, these guys, I mean, thrill seekers. You're talking about guys who jump out of helicopters.
Jump out of planes, yeah.
Out of plane. Well, no, I'm talking about out of helicopters too. Like,
right.
I mean, I did a high risk exercise one weekend with some SEAL guys who were spy rigging on a helo.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, once you up there, you're up there for at least an hour, and you just flying around San Diego Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a problem up there, you got that problem until you land, because they don't know you got a problem, and you can't communicate with the pilots. They just flying around. They having their fun, and hopefully everybody underneath them ropes is having their fun too.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to the Navy SEALs, man, because they
Yeah,
they go through so much stuff, especially that training, man. That training is like the hardest ever, man. I mean,
yeah,
man, that's crazy.
yeah. Uh, I actually got pinned. I was a man away from uh, the American Sniper. Like we got pinned almost right next to each other as chiefs.
Oh, talking about Chris Kyle.
Yeah, me and
Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah, yeah. I was. It was like me, him. I'm sorry. It was me, another guy, and then him right behind me. And
Mm.
I actually got to talk to him. And as we were lining up. I mean, this was the day we actually were getting pinned. We had our working whites on, which is what you see in the background here, same uniform. And this guy had so many medals because I mean I didn't even know who he really was. That was the first time I met him. You know, well, we might have did a couple team building things together, but back then you just call everybody by their first name. So everybody called him Chris. There was another guy named Chris that was another corpsman because we had other people in there. We had ITs, we had crypto techs, we even had CBs that all they did was work on naval special warfare projects over in San Clemente Island, where our used to be stationed at.
Mm-hmm.
They got a whole uh, underwater demolition school is actually there at San Clemente. That's where they actually take the explosives and dive and set up charges, get out the water and blow it up. And then the complex that we were in next to it, um, man, I mean, it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had their own room. Well, you might bunk with one guy, maybe, but when we were there, everybody had their own room. We had our own kitchen. We had a big old fire pit in the back, and I didn't get the word to bring my 12 packs of Heineken. So for the first like 3 days, I didn't have any beer while everybody else was sitting around drinking beer.
Did they offer any beer to you?
No, 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 they gave me beer. No, no, they gave me
You
beer,
just can
but
contribute.
no, well, yeah, back then I was smoking, so I was, giving people cigarettes who smoked.
Oh, okay.
So you bartered a little bit, but then after like day number 3, they had this small little. It was really funny. It was a trailer, and some guy. It was a part-time job for him. I guess he lived on the island. He only opened that sucker up like every 3 days. They take the bus over there. All the Heineken be gone after about 10 customers.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he be like, man, I gotta wait for the next shipment to come in. So I'll see y'all in 3 more days.
Right.
But I got a t-shirt from there. They got a bar there called the Salty Crab. And I got a t-shirt from that island. And a lot of people don't get that t-shirt. Because you only get to get that t-shirt unless you've been on that island.
Okay.
I don't think you can buy one off the island.
Okay. Okay. Well, honestly though, man, in order to make or break your whole military career, you got to come in with a high ASVAB score. That's going to determine what type of job that you're going to get, what you call, MOS,
Oh
your
yeah, absolutely.
military occupation specialty. So,
Yep.
but like, what's one of the best like jobs to have in the military? I mean, let's talk about the Navy, perhaps.
Okay, so it all depends on the individual and
Mm-hmm.
what they want to do because I mean I remember when my recruiter asked me, why you want to join the Navy? And I told him I want to see the world. He said, well, we definitely make that happen. And they did.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean when I had opportunities to go places, I mean, you know, did I go a lot of places that I didn't want to go? Of
Mm-hmm.
course. You don't have a
Right.
choice. But
Right.
I also went places I wanted to go. Uh,
Now name some of the places that you've been to.
uh, first place was this town called Fiumicino, Italy, and we were the first warship to visit that port since World War II.
Okay.
So I was on the USS Wasp. It's an amphibious ship. We had lots of Marines on there, lots of Marine equipment. Man, but I'll tell you what, being a young 21-year-old, guy from the south side of Chicago, and being on the ship and, doing things and seeing places, man, it was an experience that I'll never forget.
Of course.
And I wish that my children could experience some of it.
Mm-hmm.
The travel part, man. I mean, the world is beautiful, and I've got to see a lot of it. And so during that cruise, we went to Barcelona, Spain. We went to Haifa, Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Which from there got to take a tour to Jerusalem.
Okay.
My first tour to Jerusalem, and also to tell. Yeah.
Hey, once you port, how long do you have to like have liberty so that you can kind of go out and explore?
Now, back in the '90s when we were doing it, it was peacetime, so we used to hit a lot of ports.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the Wasp was the first class amphibious. It was like the newest amphibious ship in the Navy. So it was a tour attraction. So we went to every place in the Mediterranean that wanted us there. And I mean, they used to throw these parties on the ship. They always had guests that would, they would tour the ship and show people the ship. So we got to hit a lot of ports. Now, I don't think that they hit as many ports. I have a friend of mine that just came off of deployment. His son did. They hit 3 ports in 8 months.
Okay.
Each one probably was about at least 4 days. And that kind of gives the whole crew enough time to get off for a couple days. Like the duty section might be 4, like 4 for the ship. So, 3/4 of the crew can leave, but you got to have at least enough people to get the ship underway under emergency conditions.
Right.
So,
okay.
Everybody can't leave the ship. You got to have people on the ship standing watches.
Now on Liberty, do people come back to the ship to like go to sleep, or do people get like rooms outside of town?
I haven't been on deployment in such a long time, but what it used to be is you had to get permission to stay on town.
Mm-hmm.
Normally that privilege was for officers and chiefs.
Oh, okay.
And maybe senior first classes.
Okay.
The same thing on the Marine Corps side with staff sergeants. Like I said, they're considered staff NCOs, like E6s in the Navy. And so, yeah, they might get, hey, I'm going to be at this hotel. And now they got cell phones and all kind of communication stuff. Back then, all they had was the number to the hotel you were staying at. And we weren't at the hotel. We were, on the beaches, checking out the sights.
Right.
So, but most ports, the minimum 3 days.
Okay.
Minimum 3 days. I mean, that way at least everyone gets to go out for at least 2 out of 3 days. You can go out on liberty.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Unless you were like me and my crew, we used to stay in trouble.
You know what? When doing my 6-month deployment in Kuwait, I actually like knew my way like around town, like because I was always going to the airports and picking up VIPs and stuff. So I mean,
yeah. I got to do some of that once myself.
Yeah, and we actually had a chance to go go to the to like a Starbucks, Kuwait, like downtown Kuwait, a Starbucks. So that was kind of cool. I actually got a mug that I still use to this day
Oh, okay,
that I
yeah,
bought back then. So
yeah. One of my friends, he he asked for coffee mugs from all the Starbucks, so I brought him one from Amman, Jordan. I
okay.
brought him one from Lafayette, uh, from Riga, Lafayette, and then I started thinking like, man, shoot, I should be charging him $100 for these coffee cups. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't do that to him. But yeah, man, I got a lot of souvenirs. Matter of fact, I got a matter of fact, can I show it to you?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, hold on one second. All right, I'm back. All right, so one of my shipmates that I deployed to Landstuhl, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
He was a corpsman, and he worked up on he worked up in the ICUs. So he was taking care of a lot of the wounded that were coming from Afghanistan, like a lot of the lower leg injuries or amputations and stuff like that. The sad part is when they came back from their deployment, they weren't required to do the post deployment assessments
Mm-hmm.
because they said they hadn't been to Iraq or Afghanistan, but yet they still saw horrific things from that war.
Right.
And a lot of them, they were forgotten, man. Like I know, look, I know a sailor right now. Well, I don't even know if the guy's alive anymore. I know a guy who was a corpsman. He was an operating room technician.
Mm-hmm.
So he was over there getting all these fresh wounds from Iraq and Afghanistan, saving these guys, helping the doctors, amputate or, save lives. And then he ended up getting intestinal cancer. And they sent him home and told him it wasn't even service related. And he had been over there for a year, helping doing all these surgeries on these sailors and Marines and airmen, and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent him home because he got diagnosed with colon cancer. And then they demobbed him. And then they just forgot about this guy. And I used to be like, man, look, I'm trying my best to do some paperwork for you, whatever else. But this guy sent me this mug from Germany for helping him go on deployment.
Okay.
You see it?
It's coming in and out.
Yeah, it's a German beer mug.
Oh, yeah. It's
It's
pretty
even
huge.
it's got my name on it and everything. And this is authentic. Matter of fact, I even have an authentic, certificate in here.
Nice.
Yeah, and I didn't ask him to send this to me, but he sent it to me because he couldn't feed his family. Man, I had a lot of sailors in Chicago. Some of them joined the Navy just so they can go on deployment to feed their family.
Yeah.
They were willing they sacrificed their lives to feed their families.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell you I had close to 900 people deployed in that 4 years, a lot of those people kept on going back on deployment because that's when the housing crash happened. That's when the depression happened. That's when people couldn't pay their bills.
Right.
And people were begging to go on deployments. And they're like, Chief. Now, this one guy, he came up to my office one day and he was like, hey, Chief, I want to go on deployment. I'm like, all right, great. Where you want to go? He's like, wherever they're killing people. I sent him to the hospital, up to the psych ward. I didn't tell him I was sending him there, but I told him to go up to the 6th floor at the hospital and tell him what he had told me. And I never saw him again. I'm thinking they might have sent him. I think they might have discharged him.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, people were used to. I mean, they were like, man, and I mean, I was sending people everywhere. At Uzbekistan, Pakistan, uh, the Philippines, fucking a lot to Kuwait, a ton of them to Kuwait. Bahrain was another one. Qatar. I mean, you name it, man. Fucking Greece. I mean, look, I even deployed some CBs to Jamaica on a freaking deployment.
Oh man, that's not a
They
deployment.
went,
That's a vacation.
no, they was working. They, no, they was working. It was NMCB 25. I think they sent like 30 sailors there to help the Jamaican Navy help build one of their little naval port bases or something.
Right.
So they were in there helping them because, believe it or not, they had terrorists that were trying to go to these islands and kind of regroup.
Set up shop. Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to regroup. So I mean, we were part of that.
Okay.
And then we sent people to. I mean, oh my God. I mean, just even here in the United States, I was sending people. CENTCOM down in Tampa. I had people that were working down there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Knew a lot of people. Should have stayed in contact with those people.
Right.
Man, but as far as like deployments, I mean, Spain, Italy, France, Egypt, Morocco, England, Norway, I mean, Germany. I mean, you name it. That's just Europe. Then, Jordan. I never got any further past the Middle East than Jordan. I do want to go to. I want to go to Dubai though. I definitely want to go there.
Yeah, once the girls get older, my wife and I are trying to go to Dubai and Abu Dhabi to have like our own little separate vacation trip. So
yeah, man,
looking forward to that someday.
Yes, indeed. And then then Okinawa, Australia, Philippines. My first annual training was in Hawaii, which was actually not that it was actually a pretty bad experience.
It was in Oahu.
We were on the main island.
Okay.
Oahu.
Yeah.
And we had to camp in Tent City in the Schofield Barracks, the Army barracks, which we can see the mountains, which all the Japanese planes had flew over in order to attack Pearl Harbor.
Mm-hmm.
So we slept in these damn, Tent City. Woo, man. Tent nasty. Wow. With showers, that, walking distance away, heads and showers.
Right.
Yeah, that was my first AT. I was like, man, I don't know about this reserve thing. Y'all got us out here sleeping, in tents. Those little old CP tents.
Yeah. Well, hi, man. Well, let's close this out. But actually, before I close out, I just want to mention how, especially coming out of high school, like the military, it's like the biggest like safety net like anybody can kind of ask for. Whether if you were like a shitbird or a hard charger, you're gonna get paid on the 1st and 15th of every month. No matter what, you're gonna get paid.
You know what? That is true, but most of the shitbirds, well, some of them make it to the top, but most of them don't.
Oh yeah, I mean, people got ways of weeding out the bad ones.
Yeah, and You know, I was called a bad one, but I'll tell you why though, because I think for myself and I don't back down off of people.
Okay.
And if I believe in something, I'm going to fight for that belief. And that's something that was taught to me by my father.
You just have to be right though.
I don't have to be right.
In the military, you have to be right in order to justify you like going up to your superiors like that. You have to be right. There's no ways out of that. You have to be right.
Well, no.
You can't be boisterous and wrong. You got to be right.
No. I always had that instruction in my back pocket.
Okay.
So it wasn't that I was right. It was that I was following instructions, because everything that people think is right isn't right.
Mm-hmm.
But according to instructions, you're supposed to do things by a process.
All right.
And the reason why people get in trouble in the military is because they don't follow processes. They just act on emotions a lot of times. So I'll tell you this, and then, you know, we can do another one. I think it might have been like my third or fourth drill weekend with the Marines in Memphis. And they had this Marine, and, you know, they called him subpar. So people picked on him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And one day, our I&I, who's a captain, and we used to call this dude Captain America because he just thought he was like the, you know, like super Marine. You know, shit, he gonna wake you up at 3:30 in the morning, take you on force marches and shit in the middle of the fucking dark, in the fucking woods and fucking Little Rock, which he ended up getting a Marine's leg broken. But they had this subpar Marine, and this gunny was up there, and they were yelling at him. And then the captain said, "Man, slap that fool." And he slapped him.
Wow.
So the Lance Corporal goes to the nearest phone and dials 911. Hey, I've been assaulted. So now the police show up at the reserve center.
Wow.
And they handcuffing the gunny. And the gunny's like, "Wait a second, what's going on here?" It was like, "Did you tell me?" He's like, "Yeah, but my captain told me to do it." The captain said, "I ain't tell him to do that."
The gunny gave him a code red, huh?
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying, but the captain told him to do it. I heard him told him to do it, and a couple other people heard him. But when the police got there, he said, "I didn't tell him to do that." So this fool, so look, so luckily, look, we're standing here looking, right? Like, what the hell is about to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the Lance Corporal says, "Look, man, I don't want my gunny to go to jail. Let him go, please." So he let him go. I learned right then. I said, you know what? I am never going to do what people tell me to do unless they write that shit down, have it in an email or something, because I'm not falling for this shit by myself.
Right.
Because it happened. I'm sure you've seen it too.
Right. I mean, I was always told to cover your ass, so you can't get any better than getting it writing. You got to.
Man.
Yeah, man. And also, man, what I loved about the military, man, were the chow halls.
Oh, now that.
The chow halls were amazing. I mean, every single meal, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, was like a buffet style. You could literally have anything you want. And that's what I loved about the military.
Okay, so it's also hit or miss, depending on what your command is. But I will tell you this, though. Bar none, Marine Corps chow halls are the best in the military.
Really?
Oh, my God. When I went to Field Medical Service School in August of 1989, I mean, I thought that the chow, well, actually boot camp chow, and where'd you go to boot camp?
San Diego.
Oh, so y'all had good food.
Yeah, we had a good chow
Man,
hall. Yeah,
man,
I
I know.
like
Look,
that one.
look, look. The whole time I was in San Diego in IDC school, I used to go there at least 3 times a week to for either lunch and dinner, but at least one or the other.
Okay. Yeah.
And they let you in there for like $3.80. You can have all you can eat. You go
Anything you
back.
want.
Oh my God, man! Look, but
Yeah.
this is the thing about Marine Corps chow halls. Their cooks, like I said, follow instructions
Yeah. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
to the letter. They do not deviate from their
Mm.
instructions.
Right.
They have those temperatures up there. They put them in their boiled water. Make sure their eggs are at the right temperature.
Yeah.
Make sure their boiled eggs is the right temperature. Make sure
Mm-hmm.
that ham is at the right temperature. That them hash brown. We talking about breakfast here, okay? The
Yeah. Right.
pancakes at the right look. And I'm talking about, man, and they don't be. It ain't like prison where they just trying to give you a little bit. They put it on your plate.
Oh
Eat,
yeah. Yeah.
man.
Yeah, man. The best chow hall that I've been to was Camp Johnson in North Carolina.
Yes,
Because not only they had like a main chow hall,
they had a
they
sandwich line.
they they
Ah,
they had a
whew.
fast chow lane.
Look, hey, look. Like I said, Field Medical Service School.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we went like we got there. I think it was like on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you know, what's the first place you want to know, Bex? Where Chow Hall is?
Oh, of
Man, get to
course.
that. Man, get to that Chow Hall,
You
Camp
you you
Johnson.
you actually want to know what a chow hall is before where your barracks are.
Right, exactly. You want to know where you're gonna go eat at, right?
Right.
Right. Because you want to find your place to sleep.
Right.
So, but the thing about that Chow Hall was they had the cook school there at the time. So
Okay.
not only were they did we have the students, but we had the chefs that were teaching them how to cook.
Okay.
And man, I'm telling you, I hated when I had to leave Camp Johnson. I mean, and then like I'm telling you, like in the morning, they had eggs to order every morning,
Yeah, omelets. Yeah. Yeah.
omelets,
Yeah.
scrambled eggs with cheese, whatever you want. Uh, like I said, the hash browns, the pancakes, the sausage, I mean, whatever you wanted, they had it.
Whatever you want. Yeah.
I mean, and then for lunch, they had that sandwich line, and they used to
Mm-hmm.
make these corned beef sandwiches like back at like at Moray's Deli in Hyde Park.
Okay.
Like these
Yeah.
big old, I mean, meat just falling off these damn off the rye bread, and turkey and cheese. Uh, I mean, hoagies. I mean, look, nobody went out to go eat out in town. You went to
Right.
chow hall to eat,
Right. You
and
go to chow hall.
it
Yeah.
was free. Back
Right.
then, it was free. So
Right.
shoot, look, you made sure you woke up. How long were you at Camp Johnson?
I want to say it was just for like 2 or 3 months because that was my MOS school.
Oh
But
damn.
I
See,
mean,
we were only. I was only there for like 5 weeks.
no, because
Like
Miramar
that's
Chow
how.
Hall was pretty good too. But for those 2 or 3 months in Camp Johnson, I was like, man, this is like
Man,
the
I'm
best
telling you,
chow hall
look,
ever.
look. That's the first Marine Corps chow hall I ever ate out of, and let me tell you something. That shit left a lasting impression on me. And after that, uh, some weekends we go over to Second Marine Division's chow hall because we had
Mm-hmm.
some friends over there that were already like out of school. So we go and then we had chow hall cards back then, so you could eat at any chow hall on any base there.
Right.
Sometimes we go over to FSSG back then with the group and eat at their chow hall down at what was it, French Lick. Like we used to eat all over their place, man. But we used to go to chow halls and eat. Hell, we weren't like it. I think the first buffalo wings I had was in Camp Lejeune.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know, but other than that, shoot, man, I wasn't trying to eat all that food. I was eating that, and then we had to eat the MREs for like a whole week. Yeah, that was a not very pleasant experience.
Yeah, man. Besides my mom's home cooking, man, as far as just going to the military and the only source of food that I could eat, I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. So I was
Oh, man.
fortunate to like go to like a actually two bases. Actually MCRD and boot camp was good. My MOS school at Camp Johnston, it was pretty good. Then once I went over to Miramar, it was still a pretty good chow hall. So
Miramar.
yeah.
Oh, you was in Miramar?
Yeah, my first 2 years
Uh,
prior to
me,
Pendleton.
so you was with the mag?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Mag 16. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. As a matter of fact, that was shortly after the Navy gave Miramar to the Marine Corps.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Top
Yeah.
Gun was, right?
Yeah. Back in the day.
Yep.
Like now it's it's this Navy base that's outside of Vegas. I think like an hour from Vegas. They call it, well, the pilots call it Sinatra, but it's Fallon, Nevada. It's a naval air station in Fallon. So that's where they do the Top Gun stuff at now.
Oh,
Because
okay.
those guys, it
All
only
right.
takes them like 15 minutes to fly from Vegas to the ocean.
Okay, right.
So like, I mean, those guys. I mean, those guys fly fast as hell.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, man. It was definitely a pleasure, man. We got like a lot of information now, so hopefully on the next video we could probably cover some stuff that we kind of missed in this video. But yeah, I thought we covered like a lot of bases, and thanks for doing this, man. Definitely appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Hey, I'm looking forward to doing some family stuff too, like some family history stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I've been doing some research and stuff, and 'cause, I mean, we only got 3 libraries left. Actually, 4, as far as family members who know about grandma, grandfather.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Back people in the past.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, yeah, I'm good with that, man. Good with that. So, all right, y'all. This is the Cornerstone Podcast closing it out. And this is my cousin Kareem. We're just talking about military benefits, and hopefully on the next one, we get more depth into it. And we'll see y'all soon.
All right, man. Take it easy.